REVENANT XSPARK just chilling at the back. Adinho and Ficro forced to continuously scout out Sergeant just in case he does what he's doing now. He slips into the bush, going to find some good connections and force response into the right-hand side as well. So even if they get him, they've got another problem to worry about.
REVENANT really relying on the paranoia. Invisibility, being able to traverse into a different realm makes a big impact on these professional players. They know how lethal Sergeant is. If he gets away, if he has a super, you have to be on watch.
Yeah, well, he's going to land straight on top of Adinho there and have a super as well. Should be getting, honestly, fairly close to hypercharge at this point. He's been in their bushes for so long, just lingering and waiting. Found a few connections as well, but in the meantime, Loudska kind of just picked up 7 gems from nowhere. REVENANT with 2. Great play there from Sergeant. I think he got the hypercharge off the back of it as well. And X9J picks up their 3rd. But Loud seems so convincing on the defensive side.
REVENANT are just playing with their food. They've allowed Loud to pick up every single one of these gyms almost until Jay really got positioning there, but that was mainly due to Sergeant just being in front of Loud. Loud are not a healthy composition. They're all sitting there between that 6,000 and 7,500 health points, and they're paranoid. Look at this, they're just shooting shots into this grass, just trying to find Sergeant. As long as Sergeant doesn't reveal himself to the last second, this hypercharge could swing the game.
But when do you make the move? You know, you kind of need to get this 10th gem on the board, and that's what REVENANT know. They're going in aggressive now, waste the jump of Kyodog, but they don't really get anything back from it other than him wasting that. He's got a hypercharge of his own now, and Response, I think, still searching for his first need to bet. Hasn't been able to get in range of anybody, but REVENANT getting gems.
You can see the vision from REVENANT's composition, but is it too cheeky? Is it a little too coy for our World Final stage? Sergeant doesn't seem to think so. Dives in, Kyodog answers. Both gyms with Firecrow and Kyodog, 5 apiece. They have to find a takedown onto at least one of these brawlers. Jay marching forward. Oh, and a missed super there will end the round. It was really close in the mid, but they could only get 9 to suffice. So Loud are gonna hold off.
I mean, that was really rough there for REVENANT. You know, we saw them wait the entire game to get their opportunity, and it seemed to be wasted quite quickly. They needed that Charlie super to hit, and Adinho was there chilling on the roughs just in front of his 2 teammates. So even if he got past that wall and didn't kind of mess it up, it still wouldn't have got them anywhere.
It's one thing to make sense on paper. It's another thing to put it into practice. Sergeant has been tasked with being the man for this team. The one that makes the big plays time and time again, especially in this set, especially if you were relying on Loud to literally pick up the gyms and you were going to play a heist. It is going to be difficult. Firecrow once again eliminates him. Jay still in the middle though, so Jim's not going to Loud side yet. I think REVENANT being a little more keen on getting aggressive early after their mistakes in the first one.
I mean, Response, it realistically did nothing in the first game, and I think he knows that as well. I'm not blaming him because it's very hard to do anything. Kyodog's going to bait that Sergeant super out really well, and he's still burning down on this left-hand side. They actually predict exactly where he's going to be and preemptively fire that. Really nice plays from them, and it's catapults Loud back into the gem lead.
Loud occupying space in the middle of the map, most importantly, on top of where the gym spawned. But now Jay, marching forward, has a hypercharge, pops it, needs to make contact here. Kyodog around the corner, and it's the spawners that'll chase him away. Adinho, unfazed. Sergeant circling, Response trying to get in the flank. Kyodog getting aggressive. He's left his teammate behind. Sergeant goes for 2, won't find a 3rd. The counterplay from Otis, too powerful.
Well, I mean, all that scrap didn't really drop too many gems to either side, but REVENANT have managed to get back into it, just picking those up off the mid and now take the lead in a 7-5. Sergeant around the right-hand side again. Can't be too far off super as he connected a few shots. Going to be able to surprise the 2 of them here, but he goes for Kyodog over Firecrow.
Response now lurking on the bottom left-hand side. A little ring around the Rosies won't equate to much. Jay still with 8 gems in the pocket. Taking a lot of heat, gonna have to rely on Sergeant for a little cover fire. He'll dash forward, rockets raining from the sky, and he'll have to fall back for now. That's great contact though, Jim's spilled, Response scoops 2, Firecrow there to answer.
And they don't even really need that either, but Sergeant does need to survive, and he's in a tough position here with the bouncing shots around the right-hand side from Adinho. Down to 40 HP and Kyodog jumping in. Jay's gonna go down, Sergeant's still in the realm, and Response eventually gets the bear for the first time in the set, and it keeps them in it. But the gems will be there from the mid now, and REVENANT need to be back in the mix.
Loud have to hold on for dear life. Sergeant has 7 gems. The aggressive brawler has to be much more cautious now. 10 apiece. This is going to come down to who can scoop and score.
Well, there's the 11th on the side of Loud. They get that going and the countdown starts. Now REVENANT know they need to be in a position to get this reset. Hypercharge can be popped, and Sergeant is going to fall in the back lines. Tries to throw something out, but can't. And all the gems are down there with no chance of a REVENANT reset. And Loud going to cling on to the hope of the reverse sweep.
South America's fans cranking up the volume here in Stockholm. Strong start from Revenant XSPARK. Still smiles on their face. Only one more set needed to go to the semifinal. Obviously Loud have other intentions though.
Well, you can see this, and this is exactly what we were echoing throughout the entire set there. Response did nothing, and I'm not blaming him, it's the Brawler pick, and bear in mind, this was the first pick as well. This is what they choose to, risk everything on. 0 kills, 50 DPS, Sergeant getting a lot of work done with 9, but not really in the big influential moments that are swinging games. Jay, a few here and there, you don't expect the gem carrier to get loads, but over the other side, much more consistency. Firecrow with 8, and then we see the Crow with 7, and it's just a really good performance all around from Loud. And in my opinion, Revenant have given him that with the draft.
Yeah, when you pick Nita that early, it's not an awful brawler, but like we talk about, if you pick Nita that early, Loud get plenty of time to adapt, to find an answer to it. And you saw it there, 0 kills, 50 DPS. Anytime you have a brawler in any given game mode, sure, the objective is grab the gems, but how many times did we see Bruce the Bear come out? Not a lot. It's just the composition of Loud, even at medium range, can just keep up with Nita. So at that point, it's more of a 3v2. Again, not a shot at the player. I think just overall, the idea itself wasn't fully there. Loud are too good of a team to deal with that.
I mean, Loud executed that really nicely, as you say. They weren't able to get, the Nita wasn't able to get within range of Loud, so didn't feed those bears. And if he's getting Bruce after Bruce after Bruce, he's going to be able to cycle, he's going to be able to get up the map, push forwards, and get those bears over and over again. So Loud dealt with it incredibly. Revenant XSPARK, as I said though, feels like they've kind of provided that set. It's a fine brawler, but a first pick, you have to question it.
They've been good otherwise. Just still going to give the hope to SEA that they can get this job done on set 4. We head over to pit stop. It's going to be Heist as our game mode. Top picks to look out for. Obviously, we're going to try and find things that do damage to the Heist safe, but mobility, also a factor here. You want to be cycling in brawlers onto the offense as much as possible. Kaze at the top of pro players list. Miko at the top, especially after Toxic Lotus introduced this in Brawl Cup. It has been a mainstay of our competitive gameplay for the rest of the regions.
Yeah, I really do like this map, the aggression that comes along with it. Kit, Hank, and RT going to be banned out from the side of Loud. Over the other side, the Cordelius, Miko, and the Otis banned out from Revenant XSPARK. First picks, you're looking for something. We've seen throwers being played here, aggression. We don't really see anything long range. Ruff's still on the board, going to be able to bounce a few shots around, profound power-ups, that kind of thing as well. So still so much on the board that hasn't been banned.
Berry compositions are also in play here after seeing this with several aggressive options, something like a Miko, Cordelius who could pounce on him. It's a good look, but honestly, this Shade is a good find, especially when you see Hank ban and RT ban. That's a little telling, right? Hank with this bubble, he can charge it up, still hit Shade through the wall. RT drops the legs in the static, and he can stay on that high safe or go to the other end and meet Shade there. Shade can't get through him very quickly. Bull on the other side, though, is also not going to get taken down very fast. Shotgun Brawler in the face of Shade and a little wall break at that, too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of, as you mentioned, the berry, the throwers that we mentioned, and a tank. Healing up a tank and pushing forwards can be very solid. We saw the Bull kind of forced on defense for quite a lot of some of the games in previous sets of this throughout the weekend. And he eventually gets forward and gets some damage, but a lot of the time, forced to defend against the likes of the Lilies, the Kazes, the Shades going forward rather than getting the big damage. But Berry, a brawler who can do a bit of both, heal and get the damage on save. 2 brawlers now for Loud that can deal with Berry in a head-to-head. Obviously, Bull, as a beefy brawler, as a shotgun brawler, can meet anybody at his face, and fist-to-fist combat is typically going to emerge the victor. So I'm curious how Loud keep going with this, because obviously both their brawlers are going to be great for traversing the map, and also high safe damage. This is the exact opposite. Lou, not good for high safe damage, excellent for control, a perfect defender if you're looking to deal with Bull. Yeah, I mean, this is nice from Loud. I really like the aggression that they've gone with, but managed it well, having that defensive brawler as well. 2 of them going to be able to just go after the Berry, and Bull forced to stay on defense for a large portion of this, I would imagine. Tara going to come in as well. Can't say it's a brawler that I massively relate to this map in opposed to, Gem Grab or something like that, but it can definitely work.
Solid compositions for both sides. Seeing what these guys are made of now on the big stage. Bright lights, high expectation. These giants are shouldering nations, and Loud are clinging to their life. Revenant XSPARK 1 away from propelling SEA to a semi-final, and they have 1 set left in their way.
Well, response on the left-hand side, choosing to go aggressive early on, but Kyodog just saying no to that, backing him off a little bit, and he's got to wait for Sergeant to hold his hand to get him forward. Fycro coming back now to try and deal with this aggression from the Bull and Sergeant, but not really having the best of the times as the Ice Cream on the floor providing so many heals, but big damage coming down up top, and that should be the first crack straight away.
Adinho's instantly playing defense against response. I think he was hoping for a little more time than this. Won't even have to extinguish his super. Ooh, 188 HP. I might not want to speak too soon. The jukes were good. On the top side, though, work being done by Loud, trying to get their way to that 50% marker. They let Kyodog go, a couple crits, and now they've gotten through the second stage.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just use that super through him. I'm pretty sure that could have got the kill. Adinho looking, just waiting in the mid to see where response is going to try and come up and wait for him to be on that defense. Now forcing them back. Kyodog coming through with the super. Response uses one of his own, and Kyodog was stunned there thanks to the gadget. X9J will get the kill, throw out super, and his pet actually cleans up Kyo.
Great job from Jay to hold off there. That could have been catastrophic. Fire Crows, though, already back in action. Left-hand side flanking. Kyodog has a hypercharge available. Sergeant going to match up the middle of the map. 3,000 shots raining. Plenty of critical hits going down on Revenant XSPARK safe. And on downtown, Adinho holding off Loud. Just one game away from bringing us to a set 5. The Kings of South America are not going anywhere.
I mean, that's about as convincing as that map gets. You're going to be taking damage if you're going for big damage yourself. So Loud managed it very well. Lou firmly on the defense, doing a great job of this, just stopping every bit of aggression that Revenant XSPARK wanted to mount. Tara got a few little defenses here and there, but the damage was done so early on.
The worst thing you can do is give Loud hope right now. Revenant XSPARK took a commanding lead, 2-0. And they're facing a good squad. Both of these squads, I think, many did not expect to even be here. South America's results in the World Finals speak for themselves. They haven't made a quarterfinal since 2021. That was the last time they'd won a match until this Loud roster. And now Revenant have to extinguish them once and for all.
It was a good shot there from Kyodog, but Sergeant will get the kill. Response now around the flip side, trying to come right, but gets stunned out, and all three members of Loud just pounce out to spawn and try to get the damage done. They still haven't got this first crack, but it's inevitable now as Kyodog gets the flank round. Tara Pool comes in onto Fycro, but he'll switch forms and get a little heal off the back of it to stay alive. Very similar now, and a good defense from Sergeant once more, but the Fan Storm is trickling down that Revenant safe.
Fycro traded his life so Kyodog could swoop in, and they get that heist damage. Kyodog now pressing this indestructible. He starts up the super by standing near him, going for the hypercharge as well. Tagging response. He can't do a thing. He's swiping through the wall, swiping through the safe, and now he's paved the way for Fycro. Adinho on the flank, peppering that right-hand side. Hypercharge super missed there. I believe it was just a regular, but nonetheless, 75, and now sub that. Lou's getting in the offense.
Yeah, I mean, surely this game's done and we're going to a step 5. Jay's going to pop the hypercharge eventually now. Response has one of his own, but they're both on defense, and Berry trying to get some work done up top. Kyodog should be stopped in his tracks here, but he gets so much damage. 75 left. Adinho needs to find a shot through and absolutely destroying the ball, and that will trickle it down and force the step 5.
The rare Lou ice rink destroys the heist safe. 80 damage was enough to finish the job. South America celebrating, and I think the world as well. We started the day off with a couple sweeps. I think we were due one. This world has been way too crazy, way too chaotic to just settle for the results we've had so far today.
Well, Kyodog, the big name to look at here with the 6 kills and 299 DPS, and a lot of the safe damage as well. Adinho sat back on defense, hasn't got too many kills to show for it, but stopped Revenant XSPARK in their tracks, didn't allow them to get the damage that Sergeant and Response wanted to with those two brawlers. X9J forced on the defense time and time again, and didn't really get much back from it. 0 damage to the safe, so you can see where his positioning was for the most part, but even Response and Sergeant together haven't even got a high safe down.
Just another solid draft out of Loud. It really looked like Revenant had them figured out. And the irony is, they aren't doing it aggressively. The ones that Revenant won were the control-oriented, the kind of mechanic-driven, longer-ranged affairs. And now that they're playing kind of what we're used to seeing them do, it hasn't worked out as well. It makes you doubt. Questions creep in.